Assalamualaikum, madam. This is our group members and we are from 6F.
Hi! Today, my friends and I will be representing Nespresso, and we will explain to you about supply chain management and value chain analysis. Let's start with me. I am NAZMIN SAKINAH BINTI AHMAD FAUZY, and I will explain on supply chain management. First off, what is supply chain? It is the network of all the individuals, organizations, resources, activities, and technology involved in the making and selling of a product. This is an example of a supply chain, where it starts with the raw materials, and in our case, our coffee beans, and then it goes to the supplier where the coffee beans are packed and bulked, which is sent to the manufacturer, where the coffee beans get processed into refined coffee beans. And then once it is processed, it will be distributed by distributors to the retailers, or as we know, cafes. Once the coffee beans are in the cafes and made into edible products, it will be sold to consumers, or as I like to call, you. Once the consumer buys these products, these coffees, they will increase the demand for the products and therefore increase the demand for the raw materials. And then the cycle goes on and on again. So now, what is supply chain management? It is the management of the flow of goods and services that includes all the processes that transform raw materials into final products. In short, it's the management of the supply chain that I have just shown you. Now, there are a few SCM model types. The first one is the continuous flow model. This is suitable for industries with stability, like Nespresso. The second one is the agile model. It is suitable for industries with unpredictable demand and pre-order products. And then there's the fast chain model, which is suitable for products with short life cycle. There's also the flexible model, which is suitable for stable industries with relatively predictable demand peaks. And then there's the custom configured model, which is suitable for customized products. And lastly, there's the efficient chain model, which is suitable for highly competitive markets in which pricing is vital. Now, let's go to see the examples of supply chain. Here's the generic supply chain, which is the exact same as the supply chain that I have just shown you, which starts with raw materials, and then it goes to the supplier, bulked up, goes to the manufacturer, processed, goes to the distributor, distributed, goes to the retailer, sold, and goes to the consumer, consumed. And then the consumer buys the products, and they will increase the demand for the products, which automatically increase the demand for the raw materials as well. And this cycle continues. This is an e-commerce supply chain. This is where products are sold through a website. When an order is placed, the product is processed through many processes of checkout cart, order system, or some may include third-party systems. The payment process that is performed after checking out opens up a new supply chain. Some payment processes use their own systems, but in most cases, third parties such as Touch and Go e-wallet or GrabPay are employed that involves bank and other providers. And also, when the order is placed, the warehouse will receive a notification on the order and it will ready the products for it to be delivered. The order then goes to the shipping company before it arrives at customers' doorsteps. Now, let's have a look at the benefits and limitations of supply chain management. Let's start with the benefits of supply chain management. Number 1, it is cost efficient. SCM aims to optimize all processes of business, which reduces production costs, packaging costs, warehousing and transportation costs, and avoids any wastage of goods by delivering on time. Number 2, it enhances output. SCM aims to maximize the overall productivity of production processes and ensures that all resources are effectively used. This is to avoid wastage. Number 3, avoiding delays. Supply chain managers will make sure that all the materials are acquired on time to make sure that the operation is smooth for the production process. They also regulate all delivery and logistics services to avoid error in delivery. Number 5, it is easy to identify problem areas. Because SCM is so organized, Managers can easily track the performance of every department and identify which one is lacking. Number 5, it gives better collaboration. The process of SCM brings better collaboration among business parties because it focuses on developing proper communication within the business to avoid any disputes. Although it is great, there are also limitations to supply chain management. Number 1, it is expensive to implement. SCM requires a large investment in terms of fund, time, and other resources, and this may be unaffordable for small businesses. Number 2, it is complicated. The process of SCM is complex. It involves many departments within an organization. This may lead to confusion and hinder the normal functioning of the business. Number 3, it lacks coordination among departments. SCM can function properly only if the coordination between departments is good. So it may be difficult to create a good coordination within big corporations. Number 4, it requires trained staff. Supply chain management requires highly skilled and professional staff for it to be effective. This will lead to the company incurring extra expenses to acquire such task force. And lastly, it lacks reliability. Supply chain management is not very reliable as it is dependent on the mode of information exchanged among departments. There will be inaccuracy in sharing information, and this will have an adverse effect on the company's performance as a whole. Now I will tell you about e-commerce. E-commerce is a business model that allows firms and individuals to buy and sell products over the internet. In other words, online shopping. Now, how does e-commerce help enhance the supply chain? First, it helps to reduce cost. E-commerce allows transportation companies to exchange documents electronically. It also allows shippers, freight forwarders, and trucking firms to handle their documents without much money and time investments. This helps to reduce overall costs, improve data accuracy, enhance supply chain services, accelerate business cycles, and enhance customer service. Number 2, it impacts demand patterns. Businesses are taking the opportunity from the advancement of technology, globalization, and e-commerce to increase the connectivity and boost their speed of conducting sales transactions. So this has helped them communicate with customers by providing their needs and understanding their shopping patterns. That explains why when you shop, you only see the things that you are interested in, instead of seeing things that do not appeal to you. That's all from me. Thank you very much.
Next, we move to managing suppliers. What is managing suppliers? Managing suppliers can be defined as the process that ensures that value is received for the money that an organization spends with its suppliers. Effective supplier management makes sure that several activities occur, including establishing policies to govern supplies. Next, we move to the 5 elements in managing suppliers. So, the first element of managing supplier is relationship with supplier. Collaborative relationship with supplier can help to minimize supplier and inventory when it's related to cost. It is particularly important if the strategy focus is cost leadership. The next element of managing suppliers is selecting supplier. Companies should select reliable supplier who can meet variety of criteria which can include price, quality, supplier's performance history, communication system, and geographical location. For example, Nespresso by Nestle, the manufacturer company is by Uxter or Frismac, which is from a Swiss company. It is one of world's largest coffee machine producer. So, Nespresso have a high quality product for their consumers. And also, by selecting suppliers, most of organizations did not select different supplier which is ongoing basis. Next, we move to the third element of managing suppliers. The third element is analyzing supplier costs. There are 4 costs that should be analyzed for supplier costs, which is first, cost of purchasing material. The example of cost purchasing material is ordering cost. The next cost that should be analyzed is cost of holding inventory. The example is storage and insurance. The third cost that should be analyzed is cost of poor quality. The example is cost of rework. Last cost that should be analyzed is cost of delivery failure. For example, too early delivered or too late delivered. The fourth element of managing supplier is calculating the total cost of ownership. They use activity-based costing to estimate the total cost of dealing with and managing supplier. In ABC, analysis also involves the identification of cost drivers and provide opportunity for cost management. The last element of managing suppliers is evaluating supplier performance. One technique can be used to compare the performance of a range of suppliers, which is a Supplier Performance Index. SPI. There are three factors that should be evaluated for supplier performance, which is delivery, quality, and cost. For delivery, the percent of orders delivered on time should be evaluated. Quality, the percent of orders rejected, and for cost, the percent reduction in price of material. There are 4 reasons of managing suppliers. We go one by one. So, the first reason is to increase visibility and minimize supplier risk. It is to help mitigate supplier risks and minimize losses. Supplier risk can never be completely mitigated. The first step that an organization can take to help mitigate supplier risk and minimize losses is investing in a supplier management solution, so they have a systematic way of qualifying suppliers and increasing the visibility into their supply base. The next reason is ensure accurate supplier data. This is to ensure that they have consistent and standardized supplier. Supplier information is a constantly changing, and having skilled supplier information can potentially cause delay and add additional risk. The next reason is strengthen supplier relationship. It is to future process with supplier will run smoothly. Good and reliable suppliers are hard to come by, and when an organization has several suppliers that they partner with, it's difficult to have the same high-level relationship with each one. By implementing a supplier management solution, organizations can ensure their procurement processes are running more smoothly and can break down communications barriers and improve supplier collaboration, which in return can increase supplier loyalty. And the last and not least, the reason for managing supplier is quickly onboard suppliers. This is to manage and maintain their supplier information for future references. The time and resources needed to onboard a new supplier can be time-consuming and can decrease the productivity of team. A relationship with supplier is important for a company in any industry in this world. Why? Because there are 3 reasons why relationship with supplier is important. So let's go one by one. First, to minimize supplier and inventory costs. This is because by minimize supplier and inventory costs, it will minimize price volatility. By adopting the principle of supplier relationship management, companies can often take advantage of fixed pricing or scale increases in exchange for lengthier contract terms, minimum order levels, or various other qualifying criteria. And having a clear and unambiguous cost base allows a business to set its own pricing structures with some certainty, and that often translates to happier and more loyal customers. The second reason of relationship with supplier is improved production lead time. This will lead to 3 points, which is consolidation of the supply chain, increased efficiency, and outsourcing certain activities. For consolidation of the supply chain, as specific areas of both the suppliers and buyers business work together, this allows both parties to better understand the inner workings of the other. For increased efficiency, as a defined and established supplier relationship develops, communication improves. Suppliers gain a more complete understanding of the businesses they serve, and this allows them to meet their needs more effectively. Delays in the supply chain will decrease, and the flow of operations will greatly improve. And for outsourcing certain activities, a successful supplier relationship management program will often create a trusting partnership between a buyer and a supplier. In some cases, this may result in many key activities being transferred to the supplier on a permanent basis. This may include entrusting a supplier with the management of inventory levels and some elements of customer service. So, the last reason of relationship with supplier is to enhance manufacturer product quality. This is to continual improvement of operation. A long-term relationship between supplier and buyer allows for the free flow of feedback and ideas. Over time, this will create a more streamlined, effective supply chain that could have a positive impact on both cost and customer service. The areas of product development, instigating new ordering processes, and inventory control can become a joint venture, and that can deliver a range of financial and operational benefits to both parties. So, we move to the strategy alliance. What is strategy alliance? Strategy alliance is an arrangement between two companies to undertake a mutually beneficial project while each retains its independence. The agreement is less complex and less binding than a joint venture, in which two businesses pool resources to create a separate business entity. There are four common objectives of this strategy alliance, which is first, joint product development, second, outsourcing information technology or distribution services, third, introduction of quality, manufacturing, and practices, and last one is joint construction project.
Next, we move to how to select supplier. There are few criteria on how to select supplier, and this is how Nespresso did it. Firstly, value for money. A key consideration in choosing a supplier may be affordability. However, cheap suppliers don't always represent the best value for money. If you want reliability and quality from your suppliers, you will have to decide how much you are willing to pay for your suppliers. It is important to strike a balance between cost, reliability, quality, and service. Secondly, quality and reliability. The quality of your suppliers needs to be consistent. Your customers associate poor quality with you, not your suppliers. Equally, if your suppliers lets you down with a late delivery or faulty supplies, you may let your customer down. Nespresso choose to work with suppliers that already have reputation and record with them. Thirdly, speed and flexibility. Being able to place frequent small orders lets you avoid tying up too much working capital in stock. Flexible suppliers help you respond quickly to changing customer demands and sudden emergencies. If you want to cut down the time it takes you to serve your customers, suppliers that offer you a quick delivery service will rate higher than those that compete on other factors, for example, on price alone. Ability and willingness to work with Nespresso, preferred tools, processes, and solution providers. Fourthly, strong service and clear communication. Communication is important in ensuring a good working relationship with your supplier. From the initial briefing through continual feedback and routine meetings, your supplier should communicate openly and regularly. You need your suppliers to deliver on time or to be honest and give you plenty of warning if they can't do it. And lastly, financial stability. It's always worth making sure your supplier has sufficiently strong cash flow to deliver what you want and when you need it. A credit check will help reassure you that they won't go out of business when you need them most. Moving to the next slide. There are three levels of supplier activities. First is unit level activities, occur due to problems related to quality or late delivery of materials by suppliers. Secondly, order level activities. Order material from supplier and receive and inspect orders invoicing supplier for the order. And lastly, supplier level activities incurred over the course of a supplier contract. Example, like R&D, quality audits, and employment of purchasing manager. Next, evaluating supplier performance. Supplier cost. It is also known as total cost of ownership, which is the cost associated with dealing with a particular supplier and including the purchase price of materials and a range of costs that are triggered by the purchase activity of the supplier. There are four types of costs involved: cost of purchasing, cost of holding inventory, cost of poor quality, and cost of delivery failure. How to evaluate? In order to evaluate, we need to use supplier performance index formula, which is total supplier activity cost divided by total purchase price. In the bottom, we can see the benefit of SPI, the ability to source requirements based on total cost consideration, a methodology to increase supplier accountability and control, and the ability to perform sourcing risk assessment. Supplier measurement measures. Delivery, percentage of order delivers on time, average lead time for deliveries. For quality, percentage of order rejected. Cost, percentage reduction in price material supply. In relationship, supplier satisfactory survey and number of days of downtime due to industrial actions. And lastly, organizational change, implementation of team structure and adaptation of EDI system. Next, benefits of managing supplier. Achieving cost saving and quality control, managing a growing supplier base effectively, and tracking compliance to relevant parameters, evaluating supplier performance, and leveraging the supplier relationship management. Limitation of managing supplier. Mismanaged implementation, inadequate training, and high risk in supply chain. That's it from me. Thank you.
Before we move to value chain, let's watch short video clip from Nespresso.
Nespresso is a great case study for sustainable business practice because they're looking at their whole supply chain, they're looking at their whole product, and they're actually asking for the real answers. So it's not as easy as one thinks. So looking at a particular product and saying, well, it is about the coffee growers, it is about social communities, it is about the impact of the coffee, it is about the packaging and the capsules and the importance of recycling. We have to look at all of that.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Radina Akfah. I will presenting about value chain analysis. Value chain analysis is used for strategic examination of companies' value creative practices. The sequential mechanism of value creation is examined in this analysis. This method is useful for explaining the component of competitive advantage of a company. Buyers are able to pay a certain price for the services that company provided or offers is called value of the company. Primary activities: inbound logistics, operation, outbound logistics, marketing and sales, and services are examples of primary activities in the value chains that are related to the physical production of a product or services, its selling and distribution to the customer, and its services after selling. Inbound logistics. The company activity is associated with receiving, storing, and distributing inputs of a product in a company. Nespresso produces its own coffee machine and coffee capsule. Nespresso headquarters and manufacturing is located. Nespresso headquarters and manufacturing site located in Switzerland. More than 100 Grand Class coffees was created since 1986. Nespresso successfully pioneered the AAA Sustainability Quality Program, a dedicated sourcing approach in order to secure supplies of highest quality coffees for the future while preserving the environment and improving the livelihood of farmers through establishing a long-term direct relationship with coffee farmers. Operation. The company is associated with transforming inputs into the final product form. To reduce the environmental impact on packaging, Nespresso is dominated by double function capsule, container, and protector, and secondary packaging, which is composed mainly 100% cardboard. Smart packaging design is a win-win situation as consuming less material and less space, which also means reducing the environmental footprint of the capsules and decreasing the cost. The coffee is roasted and capsules at the packaging stage. Almost 300,000 to 1,400,000 capsules produced per day. Moreover, Nespresso implementing the most efficient technology, which is a smart long-term investment. Outbound logistics. The company collecting, storing, and distributing the product or services to buyers. Coffee capsules are delivered throughout Europe from one production and distribution center in Switzerland. The graphic shows current Nespresso sustainable transportation routes, train, boat, or combined with road. Existing 100% roads and new combined modes routes planned for the future. Nespresso carefully analyzed different Nespresso carefully analyzed different transportation alternatives to limit environmental impact as much as possible. Marketing and sales. The company involves purchases of products and services by end user and includes how to induce buyer to make purchases of their product. Nespresso has very strong marketing campaign. They provide all the information about their products and services through their official website. Other than that, more than 300 of their boutique placed in the best location around the world. They also make retail their products through online selling services. All the company's actions are associated with providing service to enhance or maintain the value of their product. Nespresso has the most such customer relationship management CRM program. Nespresso has its own club called Nespresso Club. This club offers a cleaning kit that has been specially designed for the Nespresso system and their components. Other than that, Nespresso also connects with the customer through an application, Nespresso app. This app allows the users to buy coffee capsules, espresso machine accessories on the go or at home on user's phone. Moreover, they also have technical support for the user through their website at nespresso.com. They assist the customer with step-by-step interaction and easy guides from any landline and receive personalized technical diagnosis and support. Thank you.
Next, moving on to the next topic, which is support activity. There are 4 support activities that I'm going to explain further on this slide presentation. So, without further ado, sit back and relax. Support activities of the value chain helps make the primary activities more effective. So, the first support activities is procurement. Procurement is an activity of acquiring goods and services where the procurement department are dealing with an outside supplier in order to bring the raw material into the company. According to Nespresso, their coffee beans are planted across 11 producing countries all over the world, which is equal to 280,000 hectares that be assigned under Nespresso AAA Sustainable Quality Program with the NGO Rainforest Alliance. The AAA program only produces Nespresso, the best quality coffee that aligns with the Nespresso standard. So, this process will give a benefit to the consumer where the coffee is purchased directly from the selected producer only with a high quality standard. Nespresso really take a good care of their coffee where they know about their coffee very well, where they can even determine the taste of the coffee in their consumer cup. support activity is technology. Technology development activities can be grouped into effort to improve the product and the process of the company. The array of technology used in most companies is very broad. As we can see in Nespresso from the video clip just now, they use the latest technology to deliver the coffee from the farm to the factory. Nespresso also could save an energy from 16 to 20% during the roasting process due to their new roasted machine technology. According to that, this will save around 230,000 meter cube of gas during a year. Next, for their capsule packaging, Nespresso also used an aluminium in order to protect the quality of the aroma of their coffee from the light, humidity, and oxygens. Besides, it is also recyclable. It is a green technology packaging. Last but not least, Nespresso coffee machine is an energy efficient machine where it precise consumption and no waste of resources. Thirdly, the support activities is human resource management. Human resource management consists of activity recruiting, training, educating, and developing to the people that are working in the company. Human resource management also determines the skills and motivation of the employee that work with the company. In Nespresso, there are more than 63,000 farmers since 2019 that receive an advice and training from 300 agronomists under Nespresso AAA Sustainable Quality Program. The agronomists are the person that evaluate the farms according to 296 sustainability criteria based on the Sustainable Agriculture Network standard. According to the training program, it has increased 82.5% of farmer satisfaction and 90% of farmers' loyalty in order to work with the Nespresso. Fourthly, the support activity is infrastructure. Firm infrastructure is a company's support system that allows it to maintain daily operation, and it is usually support the entire value chain and not the individual activities. Nespresso come out with a service that offer to their consumer an installment payment for their coffee machines, where the consumer just need to pay for the upfront fee as low as RM50 and the Nespresso coffee will be yours. However, these services shouldn't be underestimated since it could be one of the most powerful sources in order to achieve a maximum profit in Nespresso. As a conclusion, support activities of the value chain can help make their primary activities more effective. Besides, it is also could increase the process of their primary activity. Nespresso had improved their technology in support activity by creating an online platform for the consumer to contact them which is called lead clubs. Hence, Nespresso service in primary activity also getting better, where they had improved their customer service platform and make their consumer satisfied with their performance. So that's all from me. Thank you for lending me your ears.
Exceptional coffee comes from care. Care for farmers as they develop more sustainable practices with 400 agronomists. For the ecosystem through the planting of over 500,000 trees a year. And for the future, which is why the aluminum in our capsules can be recycled infinitely. Now more than ever, doing the right thing matters. Those who care most about exceptional coffee know exceptional coffee comes from care. Nespresso. What else?
That's it from us. Thank you for watching.